So where we left off with p5UI was that we were actually trying to get text navigation to work, which we did actually successfully achieve. So we're now able to navigate backward and forward within a text box using the keyboard's left and right buttons. That isn't without its problems. It has actually got quite a few issues. So for instance, if you type when you've gone back, when you've navigated back into the text in front stays stationary, which it shouldn't. As well as that, you've also got the issue that we haven't actually implemented click to navigate text navigation. So that will be our priority today. I think we might focus on that bug fix another time. We'll see how things go and how complicated it becomes, because I get a feeling that this actually might be a little bit awkward to do. So we'll see what challenges we encounter, and hopefully we'll get through it in one session. So let's see what happens. Okay, so that ended up being way more complicated than I was hoping. Mostly because I'm probably just really tired today. So my brain isn't actually firing on all cylinders, unfortunately. But I did manage to get it functioning at least. But it's not functioning in the way that I would like. The code is pretty messy, and that's partly because the code in general of this project is pretty messy. It needs refactoring. So I think, trying to build on top of messy code can just breed more messy code, and that's basically what's happened here, and I think that's why we're getting a bit confused and a bit lost. So we've encountered two very big problems, and that is when you click to navigate in the text box, it's always off by an index of 1, which is very frustrating. We need to figure out what to do with that problem. For now, I've just done a very MacGyver fix for it, which I'm not proud of. I'm just basically adding 1 to the index when we've clicked. That works fine, but it's not a solution I'm happy with. It should function precisely the same as the keyboard text navigation code, which it doesn't. It should be more or less the same code, but it's not, because I've had to obviously do that +1 on the increment. So we need to figure out what's going on with that. And there's also another problem where if you navigate back in the text box and try to type at that index, because we actually store the exposition of each character in an array, what happens is that I haven't actually accounted for that. If you navigate backwards to add the new positions of the words that you've added in at that index, it will just add it at the very front of the index of that array, which causes all sorts of problems. It makes the text navigation completely inaccurate by that point, because it thinks the text is at the front rather than at that specific index where you've typed it. So that needs fixing. But yeah, I mean, at least it works and we've made a start on it. So let's just take a little look. So here we are. If we type, you can see that when we click, we can navigate in the text box, which is pretty cool. As you can see, it's very sensitive for rounding up, which is a big problem, because what I want it to do is I actually want it to sort of detect where you've clicked in a character, and it should only navigate forward if you've clicked over halfway through the next character along, which it doesn't. So I need to figure out what the problem is there. I think I can do that pretty easily, actually. I've just come up with an idea to fix that. I'm not too worried about that problem though. It should be pretty simple to fix. And a demonstration of that problem I mentioned earlier. So if we just navigate to the middle here and start typing, as you can see, it's very inaccurate. It's off by about 2 or 3 characters. So that needs fixing. It shouldn't be too complicated to fix though. I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I think despite all the growing pains that we've gone through with this project so far, I think this is something that we'll get over. We just need a bit more time and a bit of rest, because I am actually pretty tired today. So I think once we've figured out what's wrong, we will be able to go on to the next stage of the project, which I'm not going to do too much more work with the text box after this, even though it does need it, but I want to work on something fresh. I mean, for instance, like the next bug that I really do need to fix before we move on, after we've done the text navigation stuff, is actually making it so that when we navigate backwards by the keyboard, it will actually shift the text if we've navigated, you know, below the width of the text box. So that needs fixing as well, but it's not, none of this is stuff that's like project breaking or anything like that. We'll be able to figure it out. It's just going to take some time, and you know, it's going to require more energy than I've got right now. So hopefully we can figure that out on the next session. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the progress that we've made, and I'm sure we'll get there eventually. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.